Okay, so good day to our dear students from Agri Science High School. This is going to be the second part of our second lesson for angle pairs. Okay, so let's try to jump right ahead into solving these problems. For the first one, find two angles such that for letter A, the angles are supplementary and the larger is twice the smaller. Okay, so for the first one, your first clue here would be that the angles are supplementary. Now, if the angles are supplementary, what does that mean? That means the sum of the two angle pairs should be 180 degrees. So we can already write here on the right side of the equation 180. And then we have some clues here. And the larger is twice the smaller. So therefore, those two angle pairs, the first one could be represented by x, and the second angle could be twice the first one. Since our first angle is x, most likely our second angle should be 2x. Okay, and if we add these two angle pairs, that's going to give us 3x. Okay, so 3x is equal to 180. And if we divide both sides by 3, so therefore the measurement of the small angle for the first problem is equal to 60 degrees. And the measurement of the second angle, which is 2x, is equal to 2 times 60, which is equal to 120 degrees. So therefore, these are our two angle pairs. The first angle, the measurement of angle 1 is equal to 60 degrees. The measurement of the second angle is 120 degrees. Let's try the second one. The angles are complementary and the larger is 20 more than the smaller. Okay, so for this problem, what's our first clue? The angles are complementary to each other. So therefore, we write on the right side of the equation 90 degrees. It says here that the larger is 20 more than the smaller. We can denote the smaller as x, and then we can add the larger angle, which should be x plus 20, right? Since the first angle, the smaller angle is x, and according to the clue on the second statement, we have here that the larger angle is 20 more than the smaller. It logically follows that the second angle should be x plus 20. Simplifying this equation gives us x plus x, which is 2x. 2x plus 20 is equal to 90. And if we transfer 20 to the other side, so that should give us 2x is equal to 19 minus 20. Therefore, that should give us 2x is equal to 70. And if we divide both sides by 2, so therefore x must be equal to 35 degrees. So therefore, for this problem, the smaller angle, okay, let's just box the first answers. Okay, so for the second one, the smaller angle is 35 degrees, and the larger angle, so that's 2 times x, that's 2 times 35, which should give us 70 degrees. Okay, so that's for the second problem. For the third one, let's try to answer this one. For letter C, we have the angles are adjacent, and they form an angle of 120 degrees. So what do we mean when we have adjacent angles, grade 8 students? Okay, so from the word adjacent, so that means both of those angles are next to each other. So imagine the angle addition postulate. If you have adjacent angles, you just have to add. Okay, so for this problem, we have the angles are adjacent and they form an angle, or the sum of the angles is 120 degrees. So we can write here on the right side of the equation, so that's 120. And it says here on the clue, the larger is 20 less than 3 times of the smaller angle. So going back to your grade 7 translation of algebraic expressions, so how would you translate this statement into an algebraic expression? You have 3 times the smaller. Okay, we can represent or denote the smaller angle as x, and 3 times the smaller, so that should be 3x. It says here the larger is 20 less than 3 times the smaller, so therefore the larger angle should be 3x minus 20. Okay, and for this problem, it says here the angles are adjacent and form an angle of 120 degrees. Since they're angle pairs, they are two angles, so therefore the first angle, the smaller angle, should be x. Okay, should be x here. And then the larger angle should be 3x minus 20, okay, for this problem. Okay, so simplifying, we have here x plus x. So it's x plus 3x. So that should give us 4x minus 20 is equal to 120. Okay, and then we have to transfer negative 20 to the other side since it's a constant, and that's going to give us a positive value. So 4x is equal to 120 plus 20. So that should give us 4x is equal to 140. Okay, are we doing our arithmetic correct? Okay, let's try to check that. 120 plus 20, that's 140. And if you have 140, and we want to cancel the 4 on the left side of the equation, you just have to divide both sides by 4. 140 divided by 4, so that should give us 35. So therefore, the measurement of the smaller angle should be 35 degrees, and the larger angle, okay, so the larger angle should be 3x minus 20 degrees, which should be equal to 3 times 35 minus 20. And it's 3 times 35, so that should give us 105. 105 minus 20. And what's 105 minus 20? That should just give us around 85 degrees. So therefore, the measurement of the larger angle for this problem should be 85 degrees. And if we happen to add these two angles, so 35 plus 85, that should give us 120 degrees. Therefore, you're quite positive, you're quite sure that your answer is correct. Let's try the fourth one. Okay, so for the fourth one, we have the angles are vertical and complementary to each other. Now, what does that look like, grade 8 students? Okay, so when we have vertical angles, they must be opposite each other. Okay, let's try to draw those angles here on our board. So we have here, let's say this is angle A, and this is angle B, and they are vertical to each other, these two angles, since they are opposite to each other and they have equal measurement. Okay, so according to the second condition, they must be complementary to each other. And if they're complementary to each other, so that means they have to be, the sum of their angles should be 90, right? So therefore, A plus B is equal to 90. But it says here they have to be vertical as well. So therefore, A should be equal to B, it should be equal to A. So therefore, we can see here that A plus A is equal to 90. Therefore, 2A is equal to 90. And if we divide both sides by 2, we will get that the measurement of the one angle on this complementary angles is equal to 45 degrees. And the measurement of the second angle is equal to 45 degrees. Okay, and that's how we can solve these 4 problems for angle pairs.